Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology Update for August 11th through 18th, 2025. What a beautifully divine and intense and amazing week of astrology. It was a really intense weekend after a very intense weekend last weekend. This weekend we were feeling the sun in square to Black Moon Lilith. All the shadowy darkness, anything that's keeping us from shining our light and being who we are, the sun in Leo, in square to Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. Deep, dark secrets, shame, programming that keeps us from shining our light. We're really feeling this because on the 11th, Mercury turned direct. And so here we are moving forward in the sign of Leo. Mercury turned direct at 4 degrees of Leo and will travel back through where it turned retrograde, 15 degrees of Leo. So those 4 to 15 degrees of Leo, the fire signs, and the fixed signs are really getting activated because this is the next chapter after the Mars retrograde that we went through in December, January, February. And resolved not until March, April, May. So then Mercury taking this retrograde in Leo is very powerful because it's saying, okay, we got the message that the Mars retrograde was an initiation, especially for supernova souls, masculine, our power, our confidence, our leadership, our ability to stand up as who we really are and for the truth and for the world that we know is possible and that we're ready to see now. So this is the activation because Pluto at 2 degrees of Aquarius retrograde is kind of like Pluto's not going to retrograde back into Capricorn, but retrograding here at the beginning degrees, especially 2 degrees, we're talking about what's keeping us from fully establishing into the Aquarian age, the golden age, the ascension age. And so what's coming forward with this is the last shift of ages. The last Atlantean time, the last Aquarian age was Atlantean time. And that we have not resolved the things that happened, the technologies that have been stolen from us. And our leaders, what happened was that the infiltration that happened of the sons of Belial at the time of Atlantean time took over the leadership. And so in this flip, this shift, this going back to the righteous mother's way that we have to in order to survive, we must reinstate the rightful leaders. Now, supernova souls, we know that we have this affliction called the reluctant leader, knowing you have all of these skills, past life evidence that you are a very powerful leader. Once you're a leader, you're a leader. You don't lose those skills. You're only honing them. And so we're really looking at what's in the way of being the visionary leaders that we came here to be. So to restore the technology and to restore the abundance and take our planet back, we must reinstate ourselves as the leaders, right? Like we can't, somebody needs to represent humanity that is in alignment and doesn't have an outside agenda save for mother's dream. That's us. We have to stand and take back what's ours. This is what this astrology is about, and it's so powerful. So Pluto at 2 degrees of Aquarius is asking this question, because we also have all these twos in the sky, lots of ones, lots of twos, the very beginning degrees of the signs. And the 2 is about collaboration. And so the collaboration is not available until we go through the ego death of to be able to come back together across the lines. And this is our biggest challenge right now. Mars just moved over into the sign of Libra on the 7th of August. And So has now come into an opposition with Saturn and Neptune at the very beginning degrees, 1 degree of Aries. So we are trying to have our ego death, clear whatever programming is in the way of us coming into our potential, and so that we can come back into collaboration. Okay, so the Atlantean catastrophes happened specifically, and we took the blame. We were manipulated to take the blame when we were working in collaboration with a group, with couples. We have to get back to this. This is what's been stolen. This is the temples that have been destroyed. And we have an ancient history, and it was demolished. But guess what? These temples still stand energetically. In fact, when these temples were destroyed deliberately to hide this advanced technology and use the pyramids that were originally used for energy generation to control us and trap us here and keep us from our spiritual ascension. So we really need to talk about the pyramids, and we need to talk about the fact that they're all over the earth, and that who in the heck built them? We did. The master builders. And these master builders are coming back to claim the stargates and the sacred places, and that these were built in alignment with the earth, to be used in alignment with Mother Earth to augment and support spiritual ascension. But they've been used to create catastrophes and damage and destruction and control. And so we're talking about taking back the technology that's ours. And I guess that's just the same thing, or goes right along in hand with the reinstatement of the rightful leaders. But what if those rightful leaders are like, get me the heck away from me, I don't have anything to do with it? How are we going to move into the new age? And some people say we don't need leaders because we're going to be Aquarian age, it's going to be egalitarian. And it's like, yeah, but we need a vision. We got to have a vision. And this is what the leaders are about: the picture, the energy, the love, the knowing. The dream that you've held in your heart is the dream everyone needs to see demonstrated. So we are the demonstration project, and we are being challenged right now, Supernova Souls, to dig deep for more love and more compassion, while we continue to be treated like garbage by those who are scared of the light and healing that we represent. It's only getting stronger. And it's so strange to see this in people. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've kind of been noticing this, where there might be a positive reaction to you, but it's almost like they can't decide which way to go. Like, are you the angel or are you the devil? Are you being nice because you're faking it? Or are you really actually a good person? Or are you, like, this is the duplicity and the nightmare that we've been living in, which had to do with Neptune and Pisces, but the whole Piscean age, using the energy of delusion, spiritual energy and delusion, in order to control humanity through structured religions. So the fact that Neptune is now in the sign of Aries, right there with Saturn, and 1 degree, they're exactly conjunct right now. This is my message to you. If you've ever listened to a message, this is the time. Do not waste this moment. Get up early in the morning in your time zone, or I think it's, to see Venus approaching Jupiter in Cancer with the fixed star Sirius. These are epic, epic moments, and the stars are telling us this. The world wants to just wash it all away with a whole bunch of trauma and drama. But it's only getting stronger, and nothing can stop it. So this energy that we're feeling right now has to do with Mercury turning direct, and Mercury turning direct at 4 degrees. Now, that of Leo. 4 degrees is a 2-degree overlap from where Mars turned retrograde. So Mars went through Cancer and turned at 6 degrees of Leo. and then went back into Cancer. And so that, and then Mercury went to 15 degrees back to 4 degrees and 15 degrees. So that 2 degrees from 4 to 6, it's very powerful. You know, 4 is about establishing structure and reality and support, and 6 is about evolving beyond the regular mundane reality. You know, that's why the forces, the satanic forces of control forces on the planet have used 6 to hold us back, because it's a sacred number of the potential of humanity. So if you take that, establishing a sacred number, you know, this, our God-given right to evolve beyond into our imaginal creation possibilities. That's what the 6 represents. It's divine human, and it's compassionate human. Everything they tried to steal from us. So guess what? The divine human is a compassionate human. That's why we must come back to the mother's way if we're ever going to get anywhere. So this is what also the astrology is telling us. With Venus and Jupiter coming together in the sky. So, but Mercury turning direct is activating. So this is Mercury's 3rd time in this cycle to go through these degrees from 4 to 15 degrees. And so wherever your planets and energies are in those are getting really, really activated, it's like tag team. What I saw was kind of like I do see like a relay race, you know, and very, very powerful. So Mercury coming out of retrograde shadow is gaining momentum. And so it takes a while to feel the energy of momentum moving again. But I know a lot of rearranging happened in this Mercury retrograde. And so that means that the forward motion of Mercury through the 3rd pass of these degrees is going to be incredibly activating, like fireworks, firecrackers under your ass. And I guess maybe we just need to be like, oh, the next intense thing you're called to deal with is because we've got to find peace through all of it. We've got to be the peace through all of it. We have to say, no, I'm not waiting for the next moment to claim my peace. Right now, Mother's Garden, the original dream. So, the Mercury moving through Leo for this 3rd and final pass is like saying, hey, and now we know Mercury had a whole month of squares with Black Moon Lilith, 2 squares so far, another square with Black Moon Lilith coming on the 26th of this month. And then Mercury comes out of retrograde shadow on the 25th. So that's a very powerful energy, and that will be close to the Virgo new moon. So we have this one more square. Now Mercury's ready to roll. Mercury's like, this is the initiation, this is the knowledge, this is the wisdom. Look, we're not going to let the darkness eclipse our light anymore. It's just darkness, and our light is just light. It's just a shadow. Just take it down, you know? Like we grow outside of, you know, the tree that overcomes the sidewalk, you know? We're taking over the matrix with organic cities of light in alignment with Mother's Way in this most beautiful adventure. And this is exactly what the astrology says. So we know we're having an activation of our leadership, of being called to step into our potential and to clear any programming or shame or low self-worth that continues to allow us to receive this garbage treatment, you know, to like put up with it. That who you are as a soul should have reverence wherever you go. Honor and reverence for all you've done for us. But how can we receive that? You know, it's not that we need to stand up and demand that. It's that that's the natural way. This is the law of the land. The Mother's Way is the natural way. It's common sense. It's what's best for everyone. And it's about care. Because guess what? We know we're going through a huge financial, we're going to have to revalue everything, right? Because we need the substance to back up our money. We want to know where it's gone, and we don't want to spend our tax dollars on corruption. And we want our money back that's been stolen, and it must be returned. But we've been tricked into thinking that money is an actual commodity. And right now, Mother Earth is waking up. Can you feel it? Mother Dragon, she's waking up, and she's like, her power, her energy's moving again. And she says, dance with me in this co-creation. Can you feel the energy? Can you feel the mana from heaven? Can you feel the activation of the love that it's time to get to work? So we have to completely reevaluate what the commodities that have the most value are. And I have to say, you, Supernova Soul, are the very top of the list, because we take into account the fact that we're not just this meat suit. We are souls, spiritual souls who have gone through so much, and we stand in this inheritance. We stand in what's right and good and true, that we are good people actually being good people, not bad people trying to pretend they're good people. No, we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take the fake money. We're not going to take anything back up. We're not going to take Holly weird, pretty on the outside, demonic on the inside. No more. We are taking back our world, and you can feel it and you know it, and Mother Earth is waking up, and it's so exciting, but it's also really intense. And so this is kind of, us stepping into our roles. The message is this: having to dig deeper for more compassion and more love and more forgiveness, to understand that there is programmed hatred towards you. You cannot turn your light down to appease them anymore, so they're going to hate you. They're going to be scared of you. And you have to be like, you want a little more of that light, do ya? No. We are the demonstration, right? So we have to just continue on some level to take this flat, because what's the point of trying to negotiate with zombies, And so we have to kind of just take it and show up in love and dig deep for more compassion and more forgiveness and more understanding, but also more authority. And that you stand in the mother's authority, because you are an earth steward. You were there from the beginning, the original vision of what Earth wants to become, an ascension planet. And it's time. We're not waiting anymore. Right now. The astrology says right now. Are you going to take it, or are you going to turn away from your truth? Yet again, are you going to let the people around you decide how you're going to spend your time and energy? Or are you going to live your life? And so this is the powerful third chakra, confidence, activation of Mercury coming through this last part, this third pass in Leo, and then square with Black Moon Lilith. We are for sure going to see what is in the way of us coming into that true light. And that's, the sun will be moving over into Virgo. And so a grounded out energy where it's like, all right, we're going to stand in the authority of who we are. Part of the deal with last week was so intense was that Mars was at the end degrees of Virgo. And this is this impatience and this frustration at not being able to clean up the earth, not be able to do the healing, not being received. Like, you can't even talk to anybody about anything positive anymore. And it's just like, rawr, And this is part of the energy of the Mars. When you have Mars transits, tension transits with Mars, there's aggression. It's like frustration and everything that's coming up, the emotions that haven't been felt. And you want to be careful with the driving. And so that was on the 9th and 10th and 11th that Mars moved into Libra and came into, so it was the end degrees of Virgo. Like, the warriors got to get going on cleaning up the earth. I can't sit here in this soup of shame of not being able to heal and clear and make things good for people around me, because this is the commodity. Going back to this, right? Like, we know there's more to us than this physical body. And we have things we take with us when we pass. We don't take our body, but our soul spirit lives on. What do we get to take? We don't get to take our memories. We don't have to get to take the knowledge of who we've been. The only thing we take is our deeds and our talents. So our deeds are help of other people. That is a talent, a commodity, very powerful. A talent expressing your creative gift, that is a commodity that helps people feel better. And so the most powerful commodity, if you look at things, if you are the soul that is aware that we are cognizant and aware in all different forms, whether we're in a body or not, and you can feel this communication, then you understand the benefit of where the name of the band Grateful Dead came from. It's a parable, and it's about paying off the debts of someone who has passed. And this is what love and care does. Then from this parable and from your communication with souls that are not in this form, the love and the help you give when somebody really needs it is the most valuable thing in the spirit world. You're a spiritual capital. And how many times have you been there? And you've been there for them while they treated you like garbage. And you still showed up and treated them with love because you understand karma. And you're like, I'm not creating any more karma, But it's about time for the Dharma to land, right? Enough karma, now Dharma. That's your true path that you are meant to walk. And if there is a time, astrologically, for this path, this singular path, this singular energy, this is as far as like the concept and what it means for supernova souls, like we're integrating all of the timelines of all of our past life garbage, all of the disparate parts of ourselves from whatever kind of weird programming, mind control, cloning, whatever we've had to deal with. All of our personality constructs and timelines coming into one. We becoming whole and complete. That's a singular focus. What you are meant to do here and what Mother wants you to do, and the full and most beautiful expression of what's inside of you. And that's all that matters. And that is your commodity. And that is your love. That's the channel for you to bring your abundance. And, it doesn't have to be one certain thing and it's going to change around and stuff. But we have to feel the level of alignment, the feeling of doing our work, of really showing up and doing our work. Supernova souls, so much has been stolen from you. And now we claim it back. Your permission and support to really do what you're here to do. And it's a beautiful world that lies ahead. So let's talk this through, because Mercury direct saying, hey, what's in the way? Let's go. Get your light on. You can't hide it anymore, and you're going to get shade and haze no matter what. So you might as well just be in your light and enjoy your own energy. Come on, be who you are. And that's powerful with the sun this week coming to the end degrees of Leo, moving into Virgo next week. And so it's like we're having this completion energy around who we are and who we're allowed to be and who we're meant to be, and whether or not we can access our full potential and our energy and our power. So it's just so powerful. So that's kind of like Mercury's a fast moving planet. That's our day-to-day reality. It's like, okay, stuff's moving again, and it's about, man, no more hiding who we are. No more hiding in shame. No more playing small. No more fear of bullies. We're just going to show up as a demonstration project, unapologetically in the healing light of miracles. So then the other thing we've got is that Mars just came into that opposition with Saturn and Neptune, and we're going to feel this through the 16th. And this is really interesting because that's also the time of the Saturn Neptune conjunction at exactly 1 degree of Aries, is from August 1st to August 16th. So through August 16th, we've got this magical, powerful alignment. The Sun and Neptune finally made it together all year, inching into this conjunction at 1 degree. And when they come together like that, exact, it's more than informing each other. They're becoming the same energy. Okay? So Neptune, our physical reality, is becoming more of a dream. And the delusions are becoming more clear. And the dream is becoming more alive because of us, because we're holding on to the dream. So thank you so much. May you be showered with blessings. And this is the energy that's coming forward around the other thing that's happening. You know, Mars in this exact opposition with Saturn. So much epic stuff, right? Like we just talked through the Mercury retrograde. But then this and Saturn and Neptune together informing each other, saying we're going to melt down, you know, and reform in the original dream our timeline. And it's up to us. That's what it says. It's up to us. But it's got to be based on the full and complete potential of humanity, right? That's 1 degree Aries. It's the I am, it's everything. The full expression of what's possible. So that is the melding of the reality and the dream and the clearing of the delusions, you know, and putting all the timelines back together into one timeline. Her way, you know, or the highway. And this is your new attitude in your energy field. Her way or the highway, I'm not compromising. You know, we don't have to argue about what's right and good and true anymore. All that's happening is that people are getting exposed for whether they actually care or they just pretend to care. And this is the shaking out, the breakdown, the shakedown. Like this section of time is about a revealing, right? Like it's all got to be revealed. The shadowy darkness can't stay in the shadowy darkness. You know, it's exposed. So know that that means a bloom, right? Because exposure is a bloom. It's like you're seeing things that were hidden, and it's might be a little scary, you know, the snakes in the garden. But guess what? The snake was originally a sacred spiritual symbol representing Kundalini awakening. And then, just like everything else, sacred and beautiful, they made it evil and wrong and bad. But this is the year of the snake. This is when we shed our skin and when we say, hey, there's so much more to us. You didn't want us to know, but we figured it out. So now what? Now what? You gonna keep us in shackles and chains? Now that we know our power, we already won. And this is the attitude. And at Mother One, as I get in line or get off the ship, because for so long we have been taking from Mother without any reciprocity, any reverence or attention, or even communication with her. You know, no wonder she's asleep. And she's waking up though, because we are talking to her now. We're talking to the waters now. And it's so incredibly powerful. And there's just this surge of this authority and understanding that organic form is now must support life and ascension and the full expression of humanity. And that's what's required. So, this is so powerful because you could see that also in Saturn and Neptune in 1 degree Aries, because Aries is like, it's conception. It's like firework, you know. Maybe this is what we're feeling with all the Leo. You know, we've got Sun and Mercury in Leo. And so we're feeling this fire, and their Saturn and Neptune saying, flash a new reality, the original reality that is based on the true and full potential of humanity. That's Mother Earth as an ascension planet. So it all comes back to her again, you know? And so Mars in this opposition with Saturn and Neptune, and also making a grand trine with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. And this is so Uranus has made it to 1 degree, and we've got Pluto at 2 degrees. So what this is making is this Charlie Brown kite shape. And a kite is about putting together everything we were talking about, putting together all the pieces of ourselves. In your birth chart, it's like, okay, well, you did this in a past life, you got this talent, you got this skill, but you haven't been able to integrate it all and really, really be who you are. And you've come to this lifetime to do that. That's the important thing that's come forward from looking at supernova birth charts. Yeah, you can complete your karma, no problem. But that's not what you came for, actually. You can't get out of this until you come into your full potential. So stop running. Overcome your fear. Stand in your power. Take that challenge as food and medicine to turn it all around back to her. We're bending spoons, and this is the turning of the tide. Everything, all energy must come to be in full support of the mother's way. And so what we've got is Mars, our activator, our warrior in Libra. And Libra wants justice, but Libras also can be an over accommodator. And Libra is about wanting to work together across the divide to cooperate, but without giving up your ideal. Because what happened is that we were manipulated and cooperating and allowing those infiltrator forces on the planet, And so the Saturn and Neptune at 1 degree Aries is like, no, we're going to cooperate with the potential for humanity. That's what this is, the support for growth and life, expansion, spiritual awakening, ascension. And so that says that we will not compromise any longer our ideals on Mother Earth. She's returned to the rightful owners now. All the resources, all of the commodities. Guess what? We already established that you are a great commodity, the greatest commodity. Love and care is the greatest commodity. And so you've been returned to Mother too. Congratulations. She was just so happy to have you back with her in her arms, for this journey. This is what we all need to find. We've gone through hell and back, so we can find and feel that we're loved and cared for. And we need to tell ourselves this through whatever weird stuff is going to erupt in this detox phase. It's just like, I'm loved and held and cared for. This is for my best. I'm getting so strong. Everything's working for me. Everything that seems to work against me is about to just turn around and be fuel and work with me. And this is the thing. It's like those people that have been hazing you, they're gonna want to get behind you. Like they don't have to want to, but they're going to want to. And then they're gonna feel a little bit sheepish about being so rude to you, for being the authentic light in the world, showing up again and again to fight for humanity, to stand when no one else would. And what'd you get? Garbage treatment. This must be redeemed. The coupon, because you're the commodity that matters most. And now we start treating that part of life as the most sacred part of our whole experience. Care. And our healthcare is a joke. It's a genocide and toxicity and cold and hard And it's like, we need a new paradigm. We've got to bring it forward. Like, are you ready for the healing clinic? Are you ready for the detox ranch? Are you ready for the working farm? What is the avenue that you can bring the abundance of mother? Okay, because this is what's going on. Mars opposite Saturn, Neptune. Mars wants justice. Mars says, but it's also ego death. And so that we can collaborate in Libra. So we can come across the divide and have harmony and balance. So the body of this kite is a grand air trine. And that's Pluto and Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini. So this is speaking to the new Renaissance. We're lifting up with this kite into the new Renaissance, where we do it with truth, beauty, and love, where creative expression is spiritual, and everything we build is beautiful because we're in alignment and we care and we're in love with her and we're celebrating her. So coming back to this, like, this is our disconnect in our society, where we don't even feel worthy of the abundance that's coming because we feel so disconnected from our mother, from the mother energy. And this was deliberately programmed into humanity through starting with those catastrophes and even a pre-planetary evolution around destruction, to try to set that tone for us. And the energy is, the message right now is that you do not get to continue to receive the blessings if you cannot honor the blessings. Okay? Mom's law is coming back into the land. We're not going to let you poison. We're not going to let ourselves poison. We're not going to ignore and neglect what gives us life anymore. We live a sacred life the way every single indigenous culture does it. A mutual reciprocity, right? Like, if you enjoy the gifts of what's offered in this world, which is mother, sustenance, then doesn't it seem like you should honor, have honor and reverence and connection and care and love for the source? And this is where we're coming to the end of the line. And the line has been crossed numerous times with the destruction that's still occurring on the earth. And this is the end of this, right? Like, it's the end of wars. It's the end of that wounded masculine thinking he's fighting for mother when he's really just fighting for his ego. We got to come back together. If we don't begin to see the other side, which is so hard, it sucks, but you're like, oh, it's a frustrating situation. It's like, okay, well, maybe I could try to see it a different way. If we can't do that, then we are never going to get anywhere. And that's what this Mars kite is about, right? We need collaboration, and we need justice, and we need balance, and we need beauty, and we need love, and we need sweetness and care and mother's garden. So the sextile, the body of the kite is at air trine, and then the sextiles make the top little triangles, and that's between Saturn and Neptune and Pluto, and Saturn and Neptune and Uranus. And so those sextiles are about creative solutions from the fire, Aries, spark, new life, new vision, new imagining in the original image of her original dream. And then creative solutions around that with Pluto and Aquarius, meaning that, oh, it's the leaders we need. We need our leaders to move us into the new age, right? And then creative solutions with this beginning new birth of the timeline with Uranus and Gemini. Now, Uranus and Gemini is about speaking out and sharing out these secrets that have been long hidden around higher technology. So we've got to have a disclosure. We've got to activate the leaders. We got to have a disclosure of the technologies, a speaking of the truth, disclosing of the technologies. We might want to look at the highest commodity, most valuable commodity. And so that might be you, the technology as well. Free energy. We've been just giving it away while we beg for crumbs, And now it's time to own. And this is what the kite is really about. It seems because the kite is activated by Mars. Mars comes in and says, boom, this is a kite. And that energy is locking it in and lifting up. And then with the lifting up, there's also a turning into a different direction. Boom. Okay, so that's energy. But Mars is our masculine. So this kite is a container, a sacred container for what? And that is Venus coming up to Jupiter. This is so powerful, so epic the way these stars are coming together. Early in the morning, if you can make it to look at it in the next couple of days, the exact conjunction of Venus and Jupiter is on the 13th. And so they're coming together, and it's like the Christmas star is so bright in the sky. Jupiter's so bright, Venus is so bright, and it's like just this powerful explosion. And in Cancer, which so Jupiter expands and amplifies, and Venus is love. So a massive explosion, amplification of love in Cancer, the mother's love. We're here. We made it. Our earth is ours again, right now. And do not forget it and live that truth right here, right now. From now on, this is the moment in time. For these, okay, so for these to come together in this way, Saturn and Neptune, the kite to form, Jupiter and Venus and Cancer, at the same time, Mercury's turning direct. It's like you cannot even imagine the lining up. We've waited for thousands of years for this moment. Do not waste it, is the message, she says. Cry your tears, feel your feelings, like do what you need to do to make yourself feel better, but do not waste this moment. We are the creators of New Earth, and this is the message that came this morning, that this kite is about lifting up. New Earth has been created, and this is the flight, the arrival to New Earth. Are we flying there, or are we bringing it here? I don't know. Like, let's get on with it, can we? But this is it, and the energy that came forward with this Venus Jupiter is a jubilee, and just a forgiveness of debts and an abundance of gifts, abundance of money, resources, and the jubilee we know is supernova souls coming online. Really, that's a jubilee for humanity. So I think that there should be some resources available for you to work with. Wonder Woman Man, wonderful Wonder Woman Man, this supernova power. And so the kite for us is landing home and understanding that we're cementing into our project, to our life, to our dream, to our vision, to our alignment, to that path, that Dharma path. No more karma, it's Dharma, right? Because that's kind of what happened. Saturn originally, astrologically, was meant to represent your path, your Dharma path, like what you should be doing, how the path you want to take to get what you want done in your incarnation. And so then it became to be to represent obstacles to your path, to your true path. Now, Ganesha, brings to mind Ganesha in Hindu mythology, and Ganesha is the remover of obstacles, the elephant, and a beautiful energy of support that you can find in this being and this deity, this energy. And but then if you really go deep into the energy of Ganesha, you realize that Ganesha is also the obstacle itself. Okay, so that's Saturn, the obstacle and the remover of the obstacles. So now we're getting to the remover of the obstacle part, okay, where Saturn is being returned to that original dream. And so that means that our Dharma path, the original meaning of Saturn, has to land, right? So everything is about this. And every moment you can align to this, and it's going to start flooding in, and then we have to navigate fear of moving too fast, fear of miscreating, because the energies are, you might make one little move and then it has a huge ripple effect. And so we have to this is maybe the Mercury and Leo. It's like we're completely rearranging um, our way of thinking and working in the world because we didn't know who we were. We're finally getting clarity on who we really are underneath the shame and the blame that was placed upon us, the stealing of this commodity. And now we claim back our inheritance. So the kite is the new renaissance. It's new earth. It's the container. It's lifting up. It's in the container. In the container is an absolute overflowing abundance of the mother's love. Okay, the top of the kite, where the kite's going, is Saturn and Neptune exactly conjunct at 1 degree Aries. We're going to the whole human. We're getting back on our ascension path. All of life is now going to support the advancement of the human soul and life itself, rather than try to destroy it and toxify it and ruin it and twist it and distort it. Mm-mm. So that's another message that's been coming through from her, is that we are in a time of correction. We know that it must be corrected. Whew. I'm not sure exactly what transit is bringing this forward. I feel like it might be that Black Moon Lilith energy. But it's kind of like, how much have we have been so wronged, and we've had to deal with so many situations where we just had to let the bad guys win, because it's like, what's the point of fighting against bullies and terrorists? And all so many times this has been unresolved and never balanced, never corrected. All the past life pain you've gone through, just targeting for who you are, not anything you even did, just who you are in your light. It must be corrected. Our inheritance is coming. We have to stand up. We have to own it. We have to feel worthy and proud. We have to be the kings and queens that we are in the divine kings and queens, to hold the resources as sacred, to make sure that the resources only go to those that are in alignment to building this dream, because her dream, we got the message, is like, part of it was like, well, it's been so frustrating to not know what we're doing and where we're going and what is going to happen next and how to plan for the future. And just, I'm stepping off of the cliff. The old world's falling away, my old reality, but nothing's there to catch me. It's a horrible feeling. But we're finding that maybe this Mercury retrograde has this, it's like this kind of clues and hints to who we really are, the undeniable revelation, the great reveal. And who is it? What is it? Who supernova souls really are. And I guess that's really the message behind this cup of love, the activation of the commodity of love in the world, and those keepers and holders and bringers of the cup of love. Thank you for doing that again and again. You are so special, so needed, and so valuable. And may you be showered with abundant blessings on all levels. Because Jupiter and Venus are coming together at the fixed star of Sirius. And that is so powerful, because Sirius represents fertility. It represents intuition. It represents flow and life force. And so that sounds like a goddess. And there's kind of connections of our origin in this evolution to the star Sirius. And so this is a coming home moment. Venus and Jupiter with Sirius, it's an activation of the goddess, of Mother Earth as the goddess she is. Congratulations, and thank you so much for your service. It will not go unnoticed and unrewarded. Isn't it time? All the losing and taking and hating. But look how strong you are. So if you get any of that stuff, just be like, oh, I'm getting so strong. I just feel for the fire. I can feel it. I can feel it. My confidence, once you gain this confidence, this feeling of putting yourself back together, of landing home as who you are, nobody can take it from you again. And it's like, yeah, go ahead and try. Go ahead and try to convince me of your reality. You know, too solid here. And I got mom with me. And mom says, time to sprout your wings and fly. And that's what this kite says. Put yourself together, put your pieces together. Love yourself so much. You're so worthy of this abundance that you are. Lift up into a new reality. Be willing to take that leap into the unknown, because the unknown is who you are. So coming back to this, we have been so confused about how to move forward but now we're finding it's because we don't know who we are. It's been hidden from us. But then we got the message from mother, like, she's got the codes. She's got the original Gaia codes. She knows who we are. She knows our role. The most beautiful expression of our creative and talents and skills and gifts and wisdom is also what she wants from us. Like, that is also the most beautiful thing for her. And this is the energy of supernova souls coming together, right? Like, really being able to support each other in that you shining is supporting me to shine. And, you know, we can get out from all of this dark mother archetype of competitive energy when there's nothing to compete over if we're connected to the mother, because that's the loving abundance. So Jupiter and Venus coming together is this massive activation of this cup of love, of this mana from heaven, and the masculine is there to contain it, you know? And this is just a surge of energy, like a tidal wave of feeling good in your body, in life, you know, an activation of the pineal gland and the higher chakras, the kundalini, the year of the snake. Yeah, we're kind of coming to that halfway marker of the year of the snake. So maybe that's why it's coming up. Kind of like, what's your transformation look like? Can you remember who you were yesterday? Yeah. But what it's about is removing all the layers back to who we really are. And what a beautiful thing that Mother Earth has that picture of your greatest expression in this realm is her, the greatest gift for her too, and the most alignment. And we don't have to worry about what it looks like or try to figure anything out or fight anymore. You know, all the things coming at us we've had to fight are now going to be our minions and our army. We're building an army. Oh gosh, this message has come through because we do have some, you know, remote controlled zombies. That's kind of the goal of the control based agenda is to infect all of us with biosensors to the point where our physical body can be completely remote controlled. This is against our will and without consent, and a great travesty and wrong, because really it's an invasion of our energy field, and our energy field is what protects us from everything. So by learning about your energy field, like the Owning Your Energetic Field course, you can protect yourself from EMFs, from targeting, from vibrational frequencies, from bad vibes, anything, because you're that powerful. But these remote controlled humans or drones or NPCs or whatever, like, somebody's going to have to be in charge of them after the control forces lose power, right? Like, we're being trained to be able to try, maybe some souls will have a chance to be redeem their soul, to get their soul back to, and that we'll be holding space for that. But that we have to kind of be in a position to be willing to take the responsibility of the controller, because we can't just let it all drop. We've been so controlled. We have Stockholm Syndrome. So much of what Supernova Souls is going through right now is undoing your MK Ultra cult programming. The false personality constructs just falling away, you know, and all of this. When your programming breaks down, you feel like you are going insane. You don't know who you are, what you're doing, or what the point is, and it's just like can bring great anxiety in your body. But we know that mother, that's when you find mom and you breathe with her and she's got you and you got your mantra. And you're like, I'm protected by the mother's love in this situation. I feel it, you know? So maybe that's it. We got to shed the old skin, but it's really vulnerable. And if you think about it, a snake shedding its skin, you can't move right away, right? While it's shedding its skin, when it's all tight and before it sheds, can't move. While it's shedding its skin, can't move. Right after it sheds its skin, can't move. Here we are. The immobilization we've been in, right? But as soon as it's ready, it's going to shoot out through the grass like a whole new reality, right? And so we're in this vulnerable time, right? Where we just have to go to the most vulnerable emotions, the heaviest, darkest places, and we have to just be there and be like, yes, that's me. All the darkness I hate out in the world is also here, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to forgive it, and I'm going to show up in love, and I'm going to let the mother hold me and trust she's got this image, this understanding of who I am, and that I can just take it one step at a time in this beautiful unfolding of the adventure of our ascension planet being returned to us and us being the rightful inheritors and keepers of the flame, the true commodity, the only wealth. Are you ready to step up? Like, are you worthy? Can you keep it pure? You know, have you graduated from being manipulated? It might start to make sense, everything you've been going through. So here we are, incredibly powerful. The Leo new moon was very intense, beautiful activation. So go ahead and get that. Very helpful on all these issues we've been talking about removing. And we worked with a council of authority energies, and very helpful. So looking at everything that's in the way of us feeling worthy, strong, capable, and willing to step into our light and power. It's the greatest gift you could give humanity. And nobody has been wanting to see it. And it's the greatest thing you have to offer. You know, it's hard because supernova souls often feel this place of guilt, like they owe people, and they should be, it's hard because they are so compassionate and they care so much, and it's hard to make choices for yourself when somebody else needs you. But this awakening and you taking the time in this sacred space of this incredibly creative, magical rebirthing of new earth, like, that is the greatest gift for your spiritual peace of mind right now, is the greatest gift. And your commitment to mother and your peace and your commitment to healing and your commitment to presence and holding the vision is the greatest gift you can give anyone around you. And maybe you can just invite them to come. Say, hey, I'm not available for that, but I'm available for this. And let's start singing and dancing and praying with Mom, right? The way she's asked us to. Why not? Come on. And here we are. So I hope you'll consider joining the SuperNova Water Festival retreat. This is happening September 19th through 22nd in Hot Springs, Montana. And it's a 3-day rest, soak, rejuvenate, eat really great fresh food, be in these waters of high mineral content, do activities, sharing, deep psychic work together with a group intuitive session, and feel into who we are, and start this, and also get together and do that singing and dancing to celebrate the equinox together. So please check out that retreat if you're able to join. What a beautiful gift for all supernova souls to support us getting together in person. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being a part of the Soul Tribe, Supernova Soul Tribe, getting you into every activation. Those activations, just being present, even if you don't even go back into the replay, but just your energy of being there and joining is so supportive to the field. Those activations have the up to minute information news drop you need, and the healing and the clearing and the messages at that time of that new moon and full moon. I used to do monthly messages in the past, and then I was like really called. I was like, oh, the astrology culminates around these new and full moons. This is important. And so that's really important for us to pay attention at those times to what we're creating and what we're living and what we're doing, what we're loving. And so thank you so much for being with me. I also have that Owning Your Energetic Field course, the Goddess Activation course. And so any support, a donation, a limited number of intuitive sessions. Thank you so much for your support and for being with me and for being a supernova soul and for being brave and for being a badass. And you're going to understand what you've been prepared for. It's going to make way more sense. I think supernova souls are feeling so frustrated at the targeting and the harassment and how hard everything is in the world for us and the poverty consciousness, and it's like you are being prepared. You know, and can we get out of the aggression and the frustration of things not ever working for us, and be like, oh, I didn't come here to do it half-ass and do it a little bit. I came here to graduate, to succeed, to run with this shit, to come into my full potential, to do what I'm here to do finally after being thwarted for so many lifetimes, And so we've been through the ringer and back because we need that preparation to be ready to be the demonstration project, to be the visionary leaders, to step up in this love, this care, this compassion. We're going to do it right now, and here's how we do it. And then we're going to have really a lot of fun doing it too, because the world has now come around to her arts. And that's you and her commodities. So thank you so much for being here, for your support, and look out for the Virgo new moon that's coming up in a couple weeks, right around the time of that Mercury coming out of retrograde shadow, the 25th of August. And so we'll be moving right along as we see what this lifting up the kite, the filling up, pouring the cup of love, the mother's love. See, Isis is pictured as the Milky Way, right? And so it kind of feels like Sirius. It could be a very similar energy representing this heavenly mother, which is also Mother Earth, because Mother Earth is everything manifest in form. We can see it, touch it, feel it. That's her. See it, touch it, feel it. And so she also is all of the resources that have been taken over to be used for evil and wrong and bad. And so she says, hey, take it, see it, touch it, feel it. It's mine. We're going to support humanity now. And live this truth and know this truth, and that this is happening in the world, because it can go no other way. Her way or the highway. And we're on that highway. Her way is the highway, and we're on it. A magic carpet ride. Are you ready? Whew, it's huge. It's so huge. This kite lifting up, and a structure the masculine can provide of support for the feminine to just flourish into the garden, the fountain, the overflowing cup of love, And people feel safe to create and really get into the juicy energy of that feeling of being alive. What would the world look like? We've been in scarcity and poverty for too long. Now we have our golden age. Hand it over. The resources are ours. Miles and miles of gold under the Vatican. It's ours to support the healing, to make up for what's been done to humanity in these travesties, and to move forward in this beautiful new world. We couldn't do it without you, Supernova. Nobody is there right now to encourage you, to love you, to support you, to pat you on the back and say, thank you, keep it up. But here, maybe you can feel this, and maybe you can feel Mother with you too, holding you, being like, yeah, we got this. Rest here. In that peace in her arms, that's the only place we can create from, right? The tension, the stress, the anxiety, I know there's a lot of it, but it's just maybe the constructs falling away so that we can just be the pure self, the pure lily, in Mother's garden, no longer accepting any negativity or shame, along with the beautiful gift of life itself. And we stand for that. We are that. And I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for being you. And let's just move this forward, right? Fill that cup. Be in the energy of what you want to create. It's so important. So I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.